Welcome to the Royal Road School of Carmelite Prayer. At present, we are studying an article entitled Love4Love, The Life and Works of St. Teresa of Jesus, as written for us by Edith Stein. Today, Edith is going to talk to us about the school of suffering, the interior life, as far as it concerns St. Teresa of Avila. So not long after Teresa's profession, which took place on November the 3rd, 1537, heart problems sent her to the infirmary. She bore the pain, the forced idleness, the inability to participate in the religious practices with no less patience than that of the nun who had amazed her. She so won the love of all the other sisters, even those who had formerly criticized and misinterpreted her actions. Her fond father wanted everything possible to be done, and because the doctors could not help, he decided to take his daughter to a healer who was famous for her cures. Since the monastery of the Incarnation was not enclosed, there was really no hesitation about allowing Teresa's family to care for the young sister. The long trip took them first past Hortzagoza. Pedro Sanchez gave Teresa a book entitled The Third Spiritual Alphabet, which was written by a Franciscan friar whose name was Francisco de Osuna, about the Prayer of Recollection. This book would soon become Teresa's guide. The travelers spent the winter at the farmhouse of Maria de Cepeda, and even though, as in earlier years, she was here surrounded by her loved ones and devoted herself wholeheartedly to them, Teresa knew how to arrange the day to give herself enough time for solitary prayer. And so Teresa remained faithful to her religious vocation outside the monastery setting. However, her illness steadily increased so that it was a relief when spring came, the time the healer of Bethsaida had designated for the cure. The long journey was a torment for Teresa, but the cure was even worse. Instead of healing her, it only increased her suffering. In spite of all her agonizing pain, Teresa steadfastly continued in contemplative prayer according to the directions in her spiritual guidebook. And God rewarded this courageous fidelity by even then raising her to a very high level of interior life. In Teresa's writings, this doctor of prayer later presented the mystical life of grace in all of its stages with incomparable clarity. The neophyte who was beginning to practice prayer did not yet know what was happening in her soul, but in order to make her further development intelligible, it is necessary to say a few words here about Teresa and the interior life. Amen. So the Edith Stein will now take us through the different stages of the development or the purification of the soul as it advances towards union with God. And she's going to be describing for us Teresa's personal journey towards spiritual marriage, or the seventh mansions, or union of the soul with God. Amen.